Did you know, according to Zillow, over 20% of homes in the US are sold as is or listed as is? That means that 1 out of 5 sellers choose to list their house without the hassle of repairs and just sell their home the way it is. So what does it really mean to sell your house as is? Selling your house as is simply means that you're putting the house in the market in its current condition without making any repairs or improvements. Essentially, you're telling buyers what you see is what you get. There are plenty of buyers out there looking for as-is houses. Contrary to popular belief, your house does not have to be perfect in order to sell it. You can sell your house as is because there's lots of people out there who want to do a DIY project and save money on the purchase price. And they would like to kind of start out with bare bones and renovate the house the way they want to. Choose their own paint colors and their own materials and vanities and kitchen cabinets rather than having someone else do that for them. Of course, house flippers are always looking to buy houses that need repairs. So what are the biggest advantages of selling your home as is? The 5 biggest advantages of selling your home as is are the speed of the transaction, the cost savings, less stress, competitive pricing, and you avoid over-renovation. First, the speed of transaction. Since you're not making any repairs, you can skip over the entire process of renovation. You can skip hiring contractors, bidding it out. You can skip having to manage a project, getting the permits inspected and approved, getting the house perfect and ready to list. You can skip all that and list the house today. This is particularly beneficial if you're currently in some sort of situation where you need to sell your house fast. It may be financial difficulties, job relocation, or some other urgent circumstance. Cost savings is another big advantage of selling your house as is. Selling as is can save you money up front because you won't have to invest in repairs and renovations. According to the National Association of Realtors, the average home seller spends $15,000 in home renovations before they sell their property. And that can go up to $75,000 or even $150,000 depending on what the price of your home is and what kind of neighborhood you live in and how much work it needs. And so you can avoid all those and not put up that upfront investment if you list it as is and market the property without any repairs. The third big advantage of selling your house as is it's simply less stressful. Avoiding the hassle of managing repairs, coordinating with contractors, making your home market ready can significantly reduce the stress of selling your home. Let's face it, managing contractors is not easy. Making sure that they're showing up on time, making sure that they're doing quality work, making sure that they stay on schedule. We all know, anyone who has managed a construction project knows that no construction project ever runs smoothly and efficiently. There's always something that goes wrong. And so it's not for the faint of heart. Now, when you put the house on the market, the home selling process will also be a lot less stressful because buyers understand that the home isn't in tip-top condition. They'll be more forgiving, minor defects, cleaning, and basic things that might be wrong with the property. If you end up selling your house to a home buying company, they'll take the hassle of doing the renovation off of your shoulders. They'll take care of that. And some home buying companies even will offer you a free trash out, which means you can leave trash, personal belongings at the property, and you don't have to lift a finger for that. The fourth big advantage to selling your house as is competitive pricing. Since you're selling the home as is, you can price it a little bit lower than the market, and that'll attract a lot of attention from buyers. You'll get, and oftentimes, multiple offers, and you can even create a little bidding war. So therefore, get a higher price than maybe even you would have got if you'd done the renovations. I surprised myself many times selling houses as is when we get 5, 10, 15 offers on the house, and we're able to negotiate the very best price. When you list it below market, buyers perceive the home as a better deal compared to the overpriced renovated properties. When you renovate your property, you're forced to list your property at top of the market, and that can create a lot of stress, and you might not get that price. Oftentimes, people look at a target price when they do the renovation and say, well, I need to get at least this, and they can't. So they're stuck at that price, and they don't want to reduce their sales price because they feel like they have to recoup those repairs. So the house sits on the market week after week after week till eventually they capitulate and realize that the market is not going to take the property at that price. The fifth major benefit to selling your house as is avoiding over-renovation. When you invest a lot of money in renovation, you feel like you need to recoup that money back. By selling as is, you avoid the possibility of overspending on improvements that might not significantly increase your home's value. So think about it. If you do a $30,000 renovation project, you're going to want to increase your sales price at least by $30,000. But a lot of times, to many people's disappointment, they're not able to increase their price by $30,000. They may only be able to increase it $10,000 or $20,000. And that creates a lot of stress. And they become very hesitant to reducing their price because they want to recoup their money. Ideally, you want to get a good return on investment because there are other costs that you haven't factored in, like your sweat equity, your blood, sweat, and tears you put into the property. So you want to get at least a 30 to 50% return on investment. So I would say, if you put in $30,000 in a property, you should probably want to sell it for at least $40,000 more. Now, there are certain repairs that will not yield a high ROI, and most people aren't aware of it. And so if you're not in the construction trades, you might be renovating your house with things that the average home consumer will not be willing to pay extra money for. For example, you might decide to put on a big deck in the rear house, thinking that a $10,000 deck will get me an extra $15,000, $20,000 in value in my house. But decks traditionally have a low return on investment. So if you spend $10,000 on a deck, you might only get $2,000 in home value improvement or none. And so you just lost money on that home renovation project. For more in-depth information on this topic, click the resource link in the description below and make sure to like and subscribe this channel for more expert advice on real estate. Thanks for listening.